KoitCast.
Hi Jesse, and welcome to KoitCast.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you for ever so much for coming along. I always say to everyone, I really appreciate anyone giving up their time to come on my show, so thank you ever so much. I suppose we should start with this. Can you give us a brief introduction to yourself? Who are you? Where you're from, etc.
Jesse Long. I'm currently living in East Tennessee in Knoxville. Born and raised in Chattanooga and Knoxville. Lived in LA for about 18 years working on movies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, made over 100 feature films, music
I'll
videos.
have to touch on that later then. Yeah, that's quality.
And both in and Rogersville, East Tennessee is a lot of where I had my experiences.
Right, so let's jump into those experiences. I read somewhere that the beginning of your experiences, from what I read, were when you were 5 years old. Is that correct?
Yes, in Rogersville, Tennessee.
Okay, would you mind just going through that for me? It's little or as much expanded as you want to.
When my brother and I were playing in the sandbox behind the house,
Mm-hmm.
and up on the hill behind us, there's a man standing there. I call him a man, wanting us to come up on the hill. So I took John by the hand because I didn't want to go by myself. We went up on the hill into the woods, and there was a craft on the ground. They shone at us what I thought was a stick. John thought it was an axe, but it was a beam of light that paralyzed us. And they took us in the craft. They took me into one room, and they took him into a different room. He got to play games with this mantis-like creature.
Oh, crikey.
And I was laid on a table, and they started performing medical procedures on me.
Wow. And when you saw this, what you called a man on top of the hill, how did he beckon you?
Telepathically.
All right, so he literally said to both of you, and you both, presumably since then, you both had a conversation, and he said the same thing to both of you.
Well, I don't think he was talking to John at all.
Oh, okay.
Because he doesn't remember any conversation. He just knows I took him by the hand.
Gotcha.
And led him up there. So that's my fault.
Yeah, you took him, but at least he had a play out of it, so there's something.
Yeah.
What did this man look like?
He was one of the regular greys.
So what, a small one, or
Small
a tall
one.
grey?
Yeah.
A small
Small
grey.
one.
Right. Was he wearing anything, or just literally us in his greyness?
Just his grayness.
Wow.
So,
And so he took you, and you went over the brow of the hill, saw the craft. What did the craft look like, if you don't mind me asking?
well, to me, it looked like a roundhouse under construction. That was as a 5-year-old, that's all I could come up with. I mean, I didn't know anything about UFOs and crafts at that point. I just said, well, there's a roundhouse being built. Which is weird because John, my brother, later built his own house, and it was a round UFO house.
Ah,
And he built it from his experience.
very formative then.
Yeah.
I suppose, is that memory of that, seeing that roundhouse in your mind now? So could you see it in perfect clarity if you think about it or not?
Yeah.
And what would
Yeah.
you say it looks like today?
A round UFO on the ground.
Literally a spherical thing, or are we talking a UFO, like standard flying saucer sort of shape?
Yeah, but not squashed thin. It was taller.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a taller, round craft.
And do you remember getting inside, how you got inside the craft?
They carried us in because we were paralyzed from that light beam that hit us.
Okay.
So they carried us in, and I was carried in by, I think there were 4 small grays, the workers, call them the workers.
Sure.
carried me in.
And what did
Of
they
course,
say to you then inside there?
well, they put me on a table. Um, they started, this thing came out of the ceiling. It looked like a x-ray machine. So they did x-rays on me. They did probing and all kinds of stuff. But I came away with an implant in my left leg. But there's every time I've been taken, there's this being I call a tall white being. He's the one who's in control. He's more human-like, tall, skinny, and he's always covered in like a veil, like crinoline. You can see
Hmm.
through it. But he's been at all of my abductions throughout my life. He's the one in control. He's the one that tells them what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and the workers just do it. You know.
And
So
does this tall white chap have a name? Or I say chap, it might be a female
right,
for all I know, but does
that's
he
the
have a
guy.
name?
Not that I'm ever aware of. I just call him the tall white being.
So he's never like really introduced himself to you as such. Hi, I am X, Y, Z, and this is why I'm here, sort of thing.
No, no, that's weird that you. No one else has asked that question. Uh,
That's
he never did.
surprising, isn't it? Because it's the first thing. Like if I go out to a pub, as an example, and meet somebody, you want to know their name to begin with. So you'd expect that
Exactly.
of this interaction. So I find that strange that no one's asked you that before.
Yeah, and all the interviews I've done, no one's ever asked me, well, what
Yeah,
was
very
his
odd.
name?
Yeah, yeah, I'd expect to know that. But that's weird that they don't introduce themselves to you per se, which suggests what to you?
They're trying to keep it unpersonal, or yeah, if they introduce them to me, it becomes very personal, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Hmm.
and suggests I presume a relationship at that point. But
Yeah,
without doing that, it's like you said, it's keeping it impersonal and therefore more business-like.
yeah, yeah.
Is that
More
how you took the experiences?
more medical.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was more medical, like a doctor's office kind of thing, where they come in and may not ever introduce themselves, but hi, how are you feeling? What's going on? That's weird that they never introduce themselves. Hmm.
Yeah, it is odd, but maybe they just don't care. Or, like you said, if it is one of those things where they've just got loads to do and they're getting through the workload, so to speak.
Right. Well, maybe they don't have a name.
Well, yeah, and that's even weirder, that one, but I like it. Because
The
they might.
only the only name I know is my first child that was created from all the stuff that they've been doing, creating children. Her name is Elle, and I was told that at some point in my abductions. Of course, Elle is French for female, and it's strange that she was a female, is a female.
Well, I think it's also strange, like you mentioned, if names weren't involved and then suddenly this child has a name. But I think we're going to get to that because I want to cover all about those sort of things when we get there. But at this point, so you're young, you're taken on board, things happen to you on board, these medical exams. What is the end point of that at which you are returned, so to speak, to your normal life?
Well, after they put the implant in my leg, my brother and I wake up and we're laying in the sandbox.
Hmm. So they've even transported you back down.
Yeah, we're asleep in the sandbox. And my mother and two sisters are asleep in the house. So they somehow manipulated them to sleep so that they wouldn't interfere, which
Mm.
has happened regularly. I mean,
From your experiences since, yeah.
my mom remembers chasing one of them down the hallway in her house into my bedroom, and it went out the window and it went into a craft on the driveway. But so they keep what are called watchers behind to make sure the family members don't interfere
Oh, I see. So there's always one left over nearby to
for each
chaperone,
person.
if you will, the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, for each person, because mom and dad were in one bedroom and my sisters were in another.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. Wow, I've not heard that side of things before, where chaperones, if you will, are left over to look after people in the area. But it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But that
Yeah.
also suggests, in a way, that there has to be some measure of proximity for other people to be kept in that sort of sleep state, so they can't do it from afar.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, highly interesting. Okay, so that's your first experience. Did you consciously remember that when you were 5? Like when you woke up in the sandpit, was it fresh there and then, or is it something that came back to you?
I don't know that it was instantaneous, but I remembered it at 5 because there's a photo of me sitting on the front porch at 5, and I'm pulling my sock up over my scar where they put that thing in my leg. So I'm trying to hide it because they told us don't ever tell anybody about what happened. Don't talk about it. Don't speak about it. This is between us kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, so in the photo, I'm trying to hide the scar so no one will ask me, what's that?
It's interesting that you had a scar from an implant, because a lot of the other, from what I've heard and from what people I've spoke to, their implants, they don't have scars. They just have an object underneath. So that's interesting. You had a scar. Is it still there today, or is it faded into nothingness?
Well, there's still a scar, but the scar is from surgery because I had the implant removed
Yeah,
in 1989. So I have
nice.
a scar from the surgery.
But not yeah. Other people I'm aware of don't necessarily have one from the initial putting it in, so to speak,
Right,
into
right.
you. Cool, cool. What was I going to get at? And could you feel the implant under the surface, or was it
Oh,
under the shin bone itself?
it was under the skin, a bone, top of the bone.
Ah,
And
yeah.
my brother and I, whenever we would wrestle, I would give because he'd sit on my legs, and it hurt. It really, really hurt. And it was very painful throughout my life until I had it removed. I had to be careful how high my socks would go, how my pants would lean against it. Sometimes at night I'd have to put it out from under the bed to keep the sheet off of it or the blanket off of it because it'd be painful. It was constant pain until I had it removed.
I know what you mean. I years ago I broke my ankle playing football, which you would call soccer in North America,
Right.
and I had like plates and screws put under the skin, and then just crossing my legs, I felt the same thing, and that pain just
Uh-huh.
just being. So I can understand that exactly what you're going through there. It does hurt
Yeah.
big time. Wow. And so from when you were 5, what did your parents and your sister say about that experience? Because presumably you said to them, "Hey, weird
No,
man,"
no. We were told not to talk about it.
and
So
you
we never
literally didn't.
little I didn't talk about it until 1984 when I moved to California and found a support group for abductees. But when I did finally confront my parents about it, my mom says, "Oh yeah, that one. I chose to chase that one down the hall toward your bedroom." And then my dad, when we lived in Florence, Alabama, and they came for me. Um, he ran them out of the backyard because they took me in and out of my window to my bedroom. And when they brought me back, I heard him yelling, "Get out of here, leave my son alone."
That's Isn't it incredible? Because obviously you've got this experience, right? That sits in your brain, and only you know exactly what happened to you. But when you've got corroboration from those stories from family members and stuff, that makes it into a proper, not nightmare, that might be the wrong word, but you understand what I'm getting at. It's a real scenario. Knowing that they saw these things come for you, why didn't they do more? As a parent, I mean, I'm not a parent, so I don't know, but as a parent, I presume you would do everything in your power to stop whatever weird stuff is happening to your children. Was there any lengths that they went to that you weren't aware of as a child that you were aware of later?
No, because when mom woke up and saw that one standing at her bed, she chased it down the hall and it went out my window right at my head. Um, she went right back to bed. So they do something to the brain to make them either forget or do something different, or oh, you were dreaming kind of thing. But no, we never talked about it until the mid 80s.
Wow. It's highly disconcerting, isn't it, that these things that are seemingly nightmare fuel just get appeased or squashed or put away into the background as if they're nothing, don't worry about it, sort of thing.
It didn't happen. Yeah. I said it
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. So post your 5-year-old experience, what was the next event that you remember? I mean, is it jumped to like when you're an adult, or is there
Oh,
intertwining things?
there's, I was abducted. I think I counted 2 to 3 times a year since I was 5.
Oh, whoa.
So, except 1992, there was 12. But anyway, uh, really the next most important one was we were living in Florence, Alabama.
Hmm.
Um, that's where Dad ran out and screamed out and leave my son alone. But when they came to get me from in the front yard, it was at night. Um, I was lured into the front yard, and they had my kitten, my cat, Fifi. One of them had the cat in their hands. And of course, I wanted to get my cat. I don't know what they were going to do with it.
Mm.
I'm, I think I'm about 9 or 10 years old. Um, and as soon as I walked toward the cat, they encircled me. And as soon as I touched the cat, they touched me, and I was out. And there was a craft at the end of the driveway. There's a telephone pole. On top of the telephone pole area there was a craft hovering. They took me up into that one. And then I went into a flight over the city. Well, Florence, Alabama, it's not like New York with, gridded street. It's curves and mountains and stuff. And I remembered, okay, I saw my house, I saw the college nearby, I saw the school I used to go to, I saw my 4th grade teacher's house, I saw downtown, I saw the house we used to live in, and then I saw my current school. This is all flying. I'm standing in front of a big screen in this craft, and it's like a night vision. It looked like day outside, even though it was night. And I thought, well, we can't be flying this low. We're going to hit the trees. But we didn't. And years later, I went back to Florence just to check on all this stuff. I got a map of the city, and I pinpointed these places I had seen from the air. Perfectly straight line.
Nice. So you recreated the flight path.
Yeah. Oh, and the last one was water, and it was the Tennessee River.
Interesting, interesting. I need to ask about the cat. Was the cat the real version of your cat, i.e., your cat, or
It
was
was.
it a projection, do you think?
No, it was the real cat.
And was that cat going ape? As in, was it going, get off me, weird
No,
things? Because you know what cats are like, they're highly skittish.
no, it was he was unconscious in their hands.
Oh, I see. Right. I was going to say, if it was conscious, they wouldn't have any hands, would they?
Right.
You know what
Right.
cats are like. Wow, that's kind of weird having your cat because that's like to me like an enticement for you, isn't it? Like come
Uh-huh.
and get your sweets, little boy. It's one of
Yeah,
those sort of things, and
exactly.
it gives off a negative vibe to me.
Yep.
Is that how you took it?
Because they're teasing me
Yes,
to get me.
yes. I don't
So
like that. That gives off an evil sort of vibe. You know, even though evil might be the wrong word, but you know what I mean. A negative intention.
manipulative.
Manipulative, that's it. Very much
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Using something that I loved to get me.
To get you, yeah, literally capture you. Wow. And
And then when I came back, that's when Dad ran them off out of the backyard.
good on him. Good on him. So these medical exams and stuff on you, obviously you've pondered them since, right? You're looking back on
Oh
these
yeah.
experiences. What are you saying they're for at that stage? This is before we get into any like material taken from you and stuff.
I think they were. You go to a doctor's office and they run tests and they get an initial base status of your body. I think that's initially what they were doing.
Gotcha.
Because over the years, when they would take me, they would give me shots. They would check up on me. They would I've got so many bruises from stuff they've done. I mean, they even went in and did something to my teeth because there was a scar on the inside of my jaw. They broke a tooth, and I mean, ultimately, we know what the reason was, which we'll get into, I'm sure, and that was creating new children.
So it's wellness checks, presumably, and like you said, to get the baseline so that they can see a result of either the environment that we live in or the result of stuff that they're doing to you along the way.
Exactly. See how I'm coping with what they're doing.
Do you think it's more that with what they're doing rather than our environment?
Yeah. I think they're keeping track of what they're doing to see if it's good or bad or what they need to change. Or because one time, this is weird. When I lived in California, they took me and they stabbed me in my stomach with this device, and I had a big triangular scar. They filled me with this golden liquid, and I passed it the next day, all liquid, which was disgusting. So they were trying to flush something out of my system. I don't know what it was or why or anything, but I thought that was really weird.
Yeah. Do you think that's possibly to do with healing you of something or just a weird test?
Probably trying to heal me of something.
See, and this is where it gets weird, right? Because there's two sides to this for me. There always has been. There's the abduction side of things and then the manipulation, which is what we spoke about earlier. And then a seemingly benign thing where they try to help and heal. Those two don't work for me.
Right.
Do they for you?
I know a lot of the shots and things they did to me probably made me healthy, kept me healthy, put it that way, kept me healthy. Because they needed me healthy, obviously. So,
especially for what was to come.
Yeah.
Now, the implant side of things, what do you think that was for? Is it literally just a basic tracker, or is it something to do something in you?
For me, I think it was a tracker because I've had it analyzed 2 different times. It was a triangular looking shard of something. Just call it shard of glass because that's what it looked like. Though it wasn't clear. It had a milky color. There was like a soundtrack on one side. There was a pyramid on the tip. It could modulate radio frequencies. Another test I had done on it, they shone light through it, and it allowed 100, even though it was milky, it allowed 100% of light to pass through it. And they said even window glass does not allow 100% to pass through it. So there's something unique about that happening. Since that's just not possible.
Special metamaterial sort of thing that has unique abilities. When you say it has the ability to interact, did you say with sound frequencies? Is that it sending a signal or receiving signal or both? Is it that sort of thing?
Probably both.
That's like an element of the tracker then.
Right. But the soundtrack down the side is, that, have you ever seen a soundtrack where it looks like
a waveform?
Yeah. That's what was down one side of it.
So it's clearly a manufactured item then.
Oh, yeah. Well, they said it had to have been manufactured at least 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, geez. Yeah, and that doesn't randomly get in people's legs, does it?
Glass is manufactured, I think, at 2,000 degrees. So.
Yeah. Not something that you would not notice if it got into your leg randomly. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Even if you were somehow a meteor from space came down at incredible speed, if that somehow got into you, you'd lose your leg probably, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, you'd know it instantly.
Exactly, yeah. Which then when you... Because obviously you've had this taken out. What was the reason you had it taken out, by the way?
Mainly the pain.
Okay.
But I was just curious to know what it was and what it looked like, and I just needed it out.
And whoever did the operation, did they know what... Did you tell them what it potentially was prior?
Well, the lady that was the head of the support group, she arranged it all. I said, I don't want to know what hospital we're going to. I don't want to know the doctor's name. I don't want to know anything about it. You just take me and we'll do it. Because she said that's best because we don't know if it's even legal once he takes it out for him to give it to me or if he has to send it off for biopsy or whatever. So she wanted him to hand it to me.
Gotcha.
He did not know what we thought it was. He just knew he was taking something out of my leg.
And then
And
you
no matter
sent it
how
off to
much,
places. Did you? Or was he part of then the analysis of it, or was he just literally the slicer?
literally the slicer, he
Okay.
didn't analyze it or nothing. He just said, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah, another one doing his job. Yeah. Did he say your
But,
name or not?
well, and the problem with that though is that he gave me the maximum amount of numbing agent he could put in my leg at that point. I felt everything. I felt the cut. I felt the pulling. I felt everything. He says, "You can't feel this." I said, "I feel it all." I said, "Touch me,
Good.
and I'll tell you when you touch me and when you don't." And he did. I said, "I feel that." He says, "It's impossible. I've given you the maximum I can give you." So
So
it was
what does that
painful.
suggest to you then?
I don't know what that would suggest. Maybe it's fighting not to come out.
Yeah, or maybe it's your brain because you were told somehow not to ever speak or interfere, presumably even with the implant. Your brain has psychosomatically made that pain. Do you know what I mean?
Could be. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
one. I had
could be
heard that.
related to that. Hmm. Another deep layer. Yeah. Interesting. Because I know that that's happened to Whitley Strieber, hasn't it? I don't know if you know his story, but he had an implant
Oh
in
yeah,
his ear and it moves around and creates heat and stuff.
yeah.
And I wonder if that's a similar sort of thing with your leg that is generating that pain to say, don't touch this, don't touch this, leave it there.
Well, I met Whitley. In fact, I'm in his book Confirmation. Chapter
Oh, nice.
16 and 17 is about my experiences. Real
There
nice
you go.
guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I haven't spoken to him yet, but yeah, lovely guy, and I'm hopefully I will at some stage in the future. Um, so you've had your implant out now. Are your experiences carrying on post that implant out?
They did up until 1999.
And so how many years are we talking? Was it 92? Did you say you had it out?
No, I had it out in 89.
So, all right. So it's another X amount of years, 9, 10 years. How are they tracking you then without what we think is the tracker?
They're not. All my abductions stopped in November 1999.
Yeah, my point is you had the thing out in 89, you said,
Right.
and your experience is carried on till 99. So there's a 10-year window where they can't track you if indeed that thing was a tracker. So how are they getting
Right.
to you there, do you think?
I guess they just knew where I lived. So they knew my address.
Yeah, that's okay. If you hadn't moved in that time, I can understand it because they're going to come back
I
to the
had
same location. Ah,
I
there
had
you go. Probably gives it away then. Yeah, because if you, that makes me think, if you had have moved in that time, could they still have located you?
I would say yeah. I don't know how, but I'd say yeah.
Mm. I always think there's a consciousness element here, which is they can recognize you by your consciousness pattern or whatever. I don't know. I assume that's something to do with it. Have you thought that?
I probably that's true. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay, so let's take us back. You've had these experiences when you were young. You had a number of them. Yeah, your parents saw these things. When did it get to the point where uh, you started having material removed from you, i.e., sperm and stuff like that?
right.
When did those experiences start?
I think when I was about 10, it was in Florence, Alabama again, um, because they started presenting me with the babies and saying, and I would say, "Well, what's this?" And they said, "Well, this is yours." And I said, "I know how babies are made. This is not mine. I haven't done anything to create a baby." Um, and I didn't have to because they were taking my sperm regularly anyway to create the babies.
Are they telling you anything about that process?
Oh no, no, they just did it. Uh, they put me on the table and That's where the anal probes come in, because it's not a pleasant thing. And people laugh when you say, "Oh, an anal probe." Blah, blah. Well, think about it. In order to get sperm out of someone who doesn't want that to happen, they have to put an anal probe in there and stimulate the prostate to get it out. So it's all a very medical procedure just to get a sample. I mean, they're not going to go into your testicles and pull it out. They're going to get it out the normal way through ejaculation. But they have to stimulate the prostate to get that. So those were not pleasant at all.
And how many times did you go through that experience?
Uh, since I was 10, probably every time they took me, they took more. Because there's probably, I'm estimating there's close to 100 children created from my stuff.
And that's just you alone. And we know from the extrapolations of people that in theory have been abducted that it could run into many, many millions of people.
Could be, I guess.
Which, if you say that you've potentially fathered 100, take those millions, that's hundreds of millions of hybrids knocking about out there somewhere, doing what we don't know.
Right. Well, my understanding is they're still all together with the aliens. They're not on Earth walking around, because they couldn't pass on Earth walking around. I mean, they sort of look human, but you would look at them and go, "That's not right," kind of thing. That's not a human.
Yeah.
Um,
What do they look like then? Softened grey features. It's still big eyes though, presumably.
uh, Larger than normal eyes. I see these huge black almond shape. They didn't look like that at all. They were larger than normal human eyes that I've seen. Even the tall white one and the grays. I think those things that are on there are, what do you call them? Sunglasses or some kind of eye protection for the brightness of the earth. I don't think that's their real eyes myself. That's just me.
No, it
Other
makes
people,
sense if they're a
you know,
shade. Because if you look at their color, they're grey. That
yeah,
suggests, they don't like big light.
right, right.
Mm.
And it's like, we wear sunglasses and the cat. Oh, when the cat sunglasses came out, oh, that was freaky to see people walking around with those.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what are these hybrid children for?
From what I gather, they're created to, well, let me back up. We as humans, I think, were created from pre-man by them, and they created us because we, excuse me, we were going to be needed to survive the next 1,000 years or so. I think what they're creating now are these hybrids who are going to have to live several more 1,000 years because humans won't be here anymore.
Right. So
So,
we're going to be extinct somehow.
yeah, so they're creating these to live beyond humans.
That which makes sense. I can understand that side of things. Which means two things. One, at some stage in the past, a shed load of pre-humans were abducted and dealt with, so to speak, to create then the new generation of us, which means
Yep.
our early versions of us must have been up somewhere on a craft waiting our time.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then obviously some measure of cataclysm. We come down, inhabit, and we're living our lives as we are now.
Right.
And then some measure of cataclysm wipes us out, and then they come down. Does that make sense? Is that right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because
So
I
what do you
always
think that
wondered,
cataclysm is then?
well, I always wondered why the dinosaurs. Why were there dinosaurs on this planet? What was their purpose? I mean, seriously, what they didn't provide anything except eat other animals. Um, but then they were all extinct, most of them. well, that's probably what's going to happen to us. But I still to this day don't know why the dinosaurs. Because I don't think we're not native to this planet.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, this is because as a kid, I would stand outside and look at the stars and go, I want to go home. Home was out there. Home was not here. And I knew that. I don't know how I knew that.
I'm going to
I
ask you a
kept,
leading question, right?
okay.
Now, is out there a place in space, i.e., let's just throw this out there, Mars, let's just say that was our original home, or is my home, from your perspective, out there, meaning another plane of existence, like the spiritual realm, as an example? Could it have been that?
No, it's a real place.
So it's a real place you think that we emanated from and are now
Yep.
here.
Yep.
That's fair, because I've been thinking long and hard about us being the original inhabitants of Mars for a long time.
I was going
Cataclysms
to say
there.
that. I was
Yeah,
going to
and
say
now we're
that.
here. I know our physiology actually doesn't feel as if it's native to this planet because there's so many things that we're not suited to, i.e., the sun and its radiation. We're
And
not used
everything
to.
that's trying to kill us.
Yes, yeah,
Bacteria
and
and
gravity.
virus. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. So these hybrids, why do you think you're given a chance to see your offspring?
They were wanting me to hold it to try to connect with it because one of them cried when I held it, and it made me cry because I couldn't understand why is this one crying and none of the others have cried. Um, I think they just wanted familial connection between me and the kid. Call it a kid, the babies. Um, yeah, I don't know.
It's a weird one because I think this, right? You know, when mums have a kid brand new, they've just given birth, they have to have that initial pair bonding, don't they?
Yeah,
For it
yeah,
to become, now I'm with you, you're my mum, that sort of thing. It doesn't take a couple of minutes to do that. That's the sort of thing that's ongoing for many, many years, presumably. So the experience that you have, and others have said to me the same thing, by the way, they needed this connection, this initial bond,
right.
you to do something for that child. In such a brief encounter, what good does that do you think, versus like a lifelong pair bond, you know?
Well, I've seen all my kids at several points throughout my abductions. They're all there. Um, yeah, especially the last time, they were all there,
And what are they doing?
just standing around, watching what's going on, watching what I'm doing. Um, the last time, I'm going to cry.
I'm sorry.
They all came around me and hugged me, and I reached out and hugged them. And the tall white being said, "Thank you for giving us your children." He's told me that twice. So
I want to ask you a question that's going to come across as horrible, but I don't mean it this way. It's just an inquisitive or curious nature. These children that are clearly not human, does it not freak you out? Does it not? Do you reject them somehow, or is it just they're there and they're yours and you love them regardless, that sort of thing?
right, yep, because they're mine, and I miss them, and I still want to see them again, even to this day.
Even
And
knowing that they are alien creatures.
yes, yes,
Wow.
those
I
are
don't
probably.
know that because I'm not a parent, so I can't understand that connection. That's why I have
Well,
to ask you intellectually.
I'm not a parent of a human either.
Ah, okay, fair
I have
enough.
alien, I just have alien children, hybrid children.
And you know, when you get this theory, not sorry, you get this notion that there's going to be some measure of wipeout of the humans and they're the next level. Is that given to you directly, or is that just a knowing you have?
I guess it's just a knowing I have, and I guess it's just from my years of my experiences. I just came to that conclusion. It's
Okay,
not
so
like they
they're
said,
never directly telling you this is going to happen.
no, they didn't sit me down and say, this is what's going to happen. No, no.
Hmm. And when
Well,
you're
until
on, sorry, go on, you carry on.
I started to say, it's going to sound crazy, but I'm psychic. I predicted a lot of things that came true, like 9/11, for instance. I predicted it to the day and the year, uh, 10 years before it happened. In fact, I drew a picture of a plane hitting the towers. But anyway, I think that was one of the qualities that I got. Either I was born with it or it was given to me by them. Um, and I think that's how I came to the conclusion that the children are going to have to survive the next thousands of years. That's why they're being created.
The gift thing, which is psychic ability now that you have, that seems to be a recurring theme across all the alien abduction people I speak to, is that they
Oh,
don't consider themselves psychic, but then somehow they get gifts post the experience.
right.
Is that a direct gift? Right here, we need to upgrade you now and you can do these things. Or is it a side effect of your interaction with the aliens?
Good question. Um, I'm thinking it's a side effect because it's possible. I got it from my dad. He was psychic and his mom was psychic. So it's probably genetic on our that side of our family.
Which leads me to this question, the familial connection. Has your father, or did your father ever say he had these experiences himself?
No, no, he never said. I think he did, but he never said.
Yeah, that was my next question. Did you suspect it?
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. And I need to ask you another question now, which again might sound harsh from my perspective, but is not. You don't have any human children, you say.
Right.
Was that a conscious decision not to have them, or something else?
Combination of several things. I think part of it was the fact that I had so many children up to a certain point that I just didn't want children, human children. And a relationship never presented itself for that to occur.
That's fair enough. I was going along the lines of I wondered if somehow it was a conscious decision, like your brother making his house later on in a
Right.
UFO style, yeah, to somehow connect with a past event. I wonder if it was going to be a choice you made to say, right, no, I'm cutting this off. We're stopping this happening to anyone else.
No, I didn't say that to myself. It's just, like I say, the opportunity never
Never
arose.
arose. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. What does your brother remember? Is it did he only ever have that one experience, or has he had experiences since?
No, he only had that one
Oh, okay.
that he talks about. Uh, he remembered being in the roundhouse, the craft. He said it looked like the inside of a basketball. And he got to play with that mantis like creature. In fact, when he built his roundhouse, he created a 6 foot tall to scale praying mantis he built. He was going to stick it on the side of his house.
Whoa, whoa, yeah. You don't do that randomly, do you? That's an indelible memory.
Yeah,
What did he say they were playing with or about?
just games. He just said we were playing games. Now, he didn't say what kind of games.
Hmm. I just wondered if they had any measure of toys or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, probably of some sort. I didn't get to play with anything. I was on the table.
Yes, you had the literally the wrong end of the stick, which is not, yeah, not the best thing in the world. Um, you remembered a stick with the glowing light, and why did your brother remember an axe?
Why? It's just screen memories that were presented, and he took it as one way and I took it as another.
That's fair enough,
But
especially
we
as young
never,
kids. I can understand it.
yeah, neither of us saw uh, a device that shot out a beam of light, which is weird. I didn't realize that until after I did my regression on it. I'm gonna have to blow my nose. Sorry.
That's why you carry on. I'm glad you brought up the regression because I was going to ask about that, which is A, why the need? So what drove you to have the regression? And then B, what did you see that enhanced your conscious memory?
Uh, I wanted to do the regressions because I wanted more details about what actually happened, and I sort of wanted proof that it happened.
Okay.
Because I was still denying it until I started having my regressions, and then things come up that were, verified. Yeah, I was really wanting to know. Maybe through regression, I would find out why they did it, why they chose me, and all the answers. Some of them came, some of them didn't. I still don't know why me specifically.
Well, the question I would add onto that is, was it wrong place, wrong time for you, or right place, right time? I.e., was it destined to always be you?
I think so. I think so.
See, that could be the answer to your why me, because it was just going to be you.
Yeah.
What did the regressions say about that?
We never got that far
Okay.
to ask that question.
I'm sorry if that question set you off. I apologise.
That's okay. I get set off a lot with some of this stuff because it's just so outlandish and so unbelievable.
The thing is, you're in your mind, right? You know you.
Yeah.
So if it's true to you, that is the truth. So just say it as it is, and I'm good with that. I'm not in your head. You are.
Right.
Some of the stuff I've done in my life, I'll say to people, and they ain't going to believe me. But these things happen. That's just life. You can't believe everyone on anything, but only you know what's in your head. Which leads me to this next thing. You mentioned the name L earlier.
Right.
So that's a name given to one of your offspring from there.
The first one.
Do they all have names?
If they do, I don't know them.
But you only know
L. Yeah, L actually takes care of all the kids. She's the oldest. And she takes care of all of them.
Why do you think she has a human name?
I don't know if I created it in my head to just identify her, but I think I was told her name was Elle. I think she told me telepathically.
Sure.
I don't know.
It's a good one, that, because it makes you think, was she allocated that name, or did she want a human name and therefore reached out and found one?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I'd like to know the answer to that. I know you can't do it now because you've got no connection, but it tells you a lot about the scenario. Are they reaching to be human? I.e., therefore, they want a human name to be considered human? Or were they allocated one randomly and it means nothing?
Well, I think it's strange that Elle is French for a female.
As well, yeah. Yeah. It's all
And maybe
weird.
and maybe I created the name in my own head because I took French in school. So maybe it was me that gave her the name.
Maybe she clutched it from your head and then used
to identify her. Yeah, to identify who she was.
Fascinating, no matter how you look at that, which I like. So we know that the hybrids are potentially for a replacement of us. Do you have any notion of when that might be?
No, I wish I did. I do not know.
I'm not asking for a date, but I'm just thinking.
Next Thursday.
Well, yeah, agreed. But think about it this way: you've had offspring children, say, since 89, 90, whatever onwards, right? So that's at least 30 years old for your.
Wow, since I was 10.
Years old for you, yeah.
Yeah.
But presumably there might have been people with this experience prior to you.
Of course.
So let's just say the program's been going on 50, 75 years, whatever. All these offspring have to be somewhere.
Yep.
Are they building up a huge population to then come? Or are they coming like in dribs and drabs and being intermingled amongst us now?
Well, I think they're just wherever they are living, whatever planet, I guess you want to call, or craft, or wherever that they're living. They're just all there. I don't know if they're waiting to invade or they're waiting to replace us. I don't know. I have so many questions about, like I say, well, why did you do this? What's the
And so,
purpose?
knowing that you had all those questions right in your mind and you went to your regression, how many of the questions do you think that you went in with got answered from those regression experiences?
Maybe 50%. Maybe.
And which ones bug you then, other than the why you? What else bugs you?
What? Why? What's the purpose? Where are you from? Um, can I see my kids again? Will I see them again? Um, I don't know.
A lot of questions, I imagine. Yeah, I'd have the same ones as you, which leads me to the next one I've written down, which is, are they aliens from a physical planet, or are they something else?
I think they're from a physical planet because when they touched me, they felt physical. Lifting and carrying me here and there, um, and then working on me while I'm on the table. They're very physical.
Knowing that they're physical, what capabilities do they have that you would consider non-physical? I.e., when you said they were chased through the window and stuff, are they going through an open window, or are they phasing through the window or phasing through the wall to get out of your house?
That would be a good question. I'm assuming they physically pass through it somehow. I don't know how. Uh, that's another question. I wish I knew how they did that.
That's what I mean. So are they phasing through the window while it's closed, or are they going through an open window?
No, window's closed.
Gotcha. So they literally have the ability to be physical one moment and then non-physical the next, from our perspective.
Well, in that trip over Florence, Alabama, they apparently put me back in my bed through my window. Well, how did I get through the window?
Oh, exactly. They're turning you off somehow, or twisting you, or phasing you, or whatever you want to call it.
Or they brought me in the front door and left through the window. I don't know because I just woke up in the bed. I didn't know how I got there. And then that's when Dad ran out the back and said, get out of here, leave my son alone.
Lovely. Now, on board, your experiences across the years, did you ever see anyone else on board?
Yes.
And
Yes.
anyone that we know of in the UFO field?
No.
You've not met another experiencer, as an example.
Well, experiences in our support group. I met John, another John on the craft once. Yeah.
So this is somebody in real life that you've met that you
Yeah.
also saw on a craft during an experience.
Yes.
Wow. And did he have the same story about seeing you?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Because it's normally just the one way where someone recognizes someone and the other one might not recognize. But that's interesting. And his story of that experience, did it match exactly with yours?
No,
Or
because
is it subjective?
it was subjective. He was they were doing other things to him, different things to him. Um, but we were both sitting in I'm going to call it an 8-sided little tube like room, and we were seated right next to each other. and he seemed to be out of it a lot. So we were just waiting our turn to go in to be examined.
How many are there during those experiences when you see other humans? How many people, as an example, are waiting in line?
Well, that was just me and him at that point.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't see any others during that abduction at all.
When you had your last experience, was it put to you at any time point underneath that this was going to be the last time they saw you?
No,
Wow.
no, which is unfortunate.
Why is that?
I wasn't given any warning that they were going to stop or
Would
why
you
they.
like it to have continued?
At this point, yes, which is weird. I think it's extremely weird that yes, I wish, because I want to see my kids again.
Is it just that, or something else?
I think it's just that.
Yeah, a lot of people say this. Initially it's a manipulative, what is considered initially a negative experience suddenly becomes then a need or a want for it to continue. I don't know whether that's some measure of Stockholm syndrome. I don't know, or whether it's some measure of acceptance and or knowing further on down the line that it's not the negative experience we think it is initially.
Right, right.
Where do you sit with that?
Yeah, I've just had to come to terms with the fact that maybe from the beginning it was really positive and I didn't look at it that way because it was painful and hurtful and deceitful, and I didn't understand what was going on. But I think now I understand more. They were creating these children. Um, so I have a different perspective now that it stopped.
See, I'm looking at this on the bigger picture from the outside. And again, like, I'm not in your head. I've not had your experiences, so I don't know what I'd react like in your shoes. But if I zoom out, I'm just seeing people being taken, presumably against their will. Things
Right,
happen to them, presumably against their will. They then are forced to experience that they've somehow fathered or mothered children, and then those fathered, mothered, and children are removed from them, i.e., they're abducted from the abduction experience. Do you know what I mean? And
yep,
then you are dropped like a stone.
right.
If I look at it that way, that tells me that's a negative experience.
Yeah, that aspect of it, yeah, that they just stopped. That's negative.
Yeah, it's like they've come along. You're a subject. We're doing this. We're doing this because we want to get children. That's the end result for them,
Right,
seemingly. And then you're no longer useful. Drop, and then presumably they're on to Jesse number two or whoever may be the
right.
next one they're doing it to, which suggests it's negative. And that's why I find it hard to reconcile in my head. But I've not been through the experience, so I don't know. But you understand my position from the outside. It looks odd, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah.
really does. If after all of these years, right, if you could boil down the whole experience set, what would it mean? What do you think it means?
Means in what respect? What it means to me, what it means to them, what it means to the
I
universe.
like that. I like that you answered it that way. So let's go with this. From all perspectives, what do you think it means? So the bigger picture, what do you think it means for you, and what do you think it means for them?
Well, obviously for them, they have what they wanted. They got what they wanted from me. For me, it means, well, they used me for their purposes, and then, like you said, just dropped me. Um, and I guess I have to live with that fact that I probably will never see my kids again. Um, yeah, so they got what they wanted.
But you've got it in there, presumably, so that there's at least that can't be taken away from you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a weird one, the whole thing. And when you do zoom out and look at the whole thing, it just becomes, to me, a medical procedure.
Yeah.
For an end goal, and which, if it is that end goal of replacing humanity to, I don't know, somehow be able to survive on this earth. Let's just say there's a radiation change or a magnetic change or something that affects our bodies and we can't function, and they come in for that purpose. Then actually, the bigger picture overall is actually a positive thing, isn't it? Because it means the human race, in one form, is carrying on.
But we won't know that.
But we'll never know that. So we're only seeing this picture that looks negative. Because if you think about this, imagine there was a Neanderthal doctor years ago, and he's saying, we're suddenly being wiped out. I don't like this. I don't like this. But from his perspective, that's crap. But actually, from the species perspective, it's really good because there's a stronger version, i.e. humans put in the next step. So maybe that is what's happening. And maybe we're just not liking the fact that our step is being stepped over. Yeah.
Being replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at that in that bigger picture, it is actually a positive. But from the macro view, it does look kind of negative. But there we go. I'm not going to leave us on the negative, though, Jesse, because I do want to talk about your involvement with the movies in LA, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
So what did you used to do?
Several things. I was basically a script continuity supervisor, where I held the script, took notes of what was being filmed. Prompted lines for actors. I worked on 100 feature films. Did about 24 music videos with very famous people. I've worked with a lot of famous people. People can enter my name on Internet Movie Database, and you'll get a list of everything I did.
Just definitely want to look after this.
Jesse, Jesse, Long, Long.
Excellent. I will definitely look at that. Does that mean you had to go along and twist props around to be facing the right direction and all that sort of thing?
No, I would tell the prop person to do that.
You're in control of them. Yeah, do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a few films I had a small part in. I was second unit director on a couple of films, producer on a film. So I sort of did it all at some point or the other.
Did any continuity errors get in to films that you then look back on and think, oh Christ, I was responsible for that?
Well, I was not responsible for it. The editing process was responsible for it. I worked on the movie Pet Sematary. I don't know if you've seen the movie.
I know, I haven't seen it, but I know
it. The father goes to the kid's grave to dig him up. Well, there's flowers everywhere. And he gets in a rage and he throws the flowers off. And then he's sitting down right before he digs him up because the ghost of Pascal is right there. Well, when they edited it, we had filmed all this stuff with him getting angry and falling downstairs, and they cut all that out. They didn't want him to get angry. So in the editing process, they cut out him throwing the flowers away. So you see all these flowers. Next time you see him sitting, there's no flowers. Yeah. It bothers me, but they didn't care.
Well, no, it's probably cheaper than reshoots, isn't it? Let's be fair. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't going to go back up to Maine to reshoot.
But I get that because you're looking back at it thinking, oh, that's a bloody error. I don't like it. Yeah. Any more like that you're aware of?
I think that's the one that really sticks out to me.
Well, that's not bad then, because that means you did a good job overall.
Overall. Yeah. There's a lot of hard work and a lot of long hours, but I got to go a lot of really good places. Like, I don't fly, so I drove from LA to Maine to work on Pet Sematary 1. I drove from LA to Atlanta for Pet Sematary 2. From LA to Miami for Cat Chaser. LA to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for a TV series with Patty Duke. I've traveled all over, and we went to Puerto Rico to work on a film. It's been adventurous, but when I look back on it with the hours that we worked, 12, 14 hours a day, I don't think I made minimum wage.
Yeah, but if you enjoyed the experience, then it was worth it from that
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah. And you got the memories and the
Exactly.
freedom.
What was your favorite project you worked on?
Probably Pet Cemetery, first one.
Quality. Oh, fair play. Jesse, we're now going to enter the Koit zone. Koit zone! Now, in the Koit zone, I'm going to ask you equally trivial questions. They're throwaway, nothing to do with any paranormal experiences or anything like that. And actually, we're going to start with quite an apt one. So, what is your favourite movie, if you have one?
Of all movies,
Of any
Silent
movie? You don't have to be involved with it, yeah, but what film?
Sleuth.
Oh, Sleuth, right, yeah. With Michael Caine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good film. That's funny. Nice one. Good choice. What animal do you most resonate with?
A deer or a moose. Probably a moose.
May I ask why?
I just think they're fascinating and beautiful animals.
Oh, that's fair enough. That's a good answer. It's the right answer, by the way. It's where I like the fact that you came up with the answer straight away, which means you knew it straight away, and there's no
Yeah.
hesitancy there. Cheese or biscuits and crackers?
Biscuits and crackers.
By the way, what do you call these things in America? Is it crackers or is it biscuits? You know, when you have like cheese and biscuits, is it cheese and crackers or is it cheese and biscuits?
No, you mean like those little square crackers?
Yeah, like where you put cheese on top of a cracker or something. Is it called a
Oh,
cracker in America?
yes, yes.
Okay, it's just me and my girlfriend have this chat the other day. Is it cheese and biscuits or is it cheese and crackers?
Yeah.
And that's why I had this question. So what do you do cheese and crackers or not?
Um, Probably just cheese.
Good call. Good call. Do you have a favorite comedian?
Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, I going right back.
Yep.
Yeah, cool, cool. What's the most amount of money you've ever found?
Found. I found a $5 bill on the street one time. That's probably it.
That's not a bad value. I mean, it's not the highest note value, but it's still something. Something for free, and you'll take that. Chewing gum, yes or no?
No.
Good call. Do you know what really annoys me? Right, you're walking down the street, and everywhere there's like a little squash bit of gum on the sidewalk or pavement, or whatever you want to call it. It's everywhere. I hate that stuff. What is the best place on earth you visited?
Stonehenge.
When was that?
74.
Oh wow, you could get right up to it then, couldn't you?
Then you could. I have
Yeah.
pictures of me right up against it. It was my senior year in college, and it was 12 plays in 12 or 15 plays in 15 days. And we went to London, and I was determined, since I was that close, I was going to Stonehenge. Then we went to, West, Shakespeare's birthplace, Anne Hathaway's cottage, did all the Stratford stuff, but I made a special trip to Stonehenge. I felt a connection. I felt a connection.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of power in that place. I've not been. I was meant to be going this year, but circumstances dictated we didn't go. But yeah, I should really be getting my ass over there, considering it's in England.
Yeah.
It's only like an hour and a half from me, so I should go. Can you swim?
Yes.
Fair play. Fair play. I can't, you see, so I'm always fascinated by people who can.
Oh, okay.
Just one of them things. What is the worst concert or event you've been to?
I don't go to concerts. Event. Oh, probably 1982. There was the World's Fair here in Knoxville. Um, who was the president then?
Carter?
I want to say Nixon, whoever it was, or Reagan, whoever it was. They came to Knoxville in the football stadium, and I didn't like that.
Fair enough.
Carrying on, and No, I didn't like that.
Not for you then.
Mhm.
Okay, the last question in the Koit zone, and it's kind of a mind scratcher. Do you think you'll ever get the answers to all of your questions before and or after you die?
Probably the moment of death. Yeah.
I like that answer. What do you think happens then that enables us to get those answers?
Well, we go back to our source and are connected to everything. And at that point, we know all the answers. That's what I'm hoping for.
May I ask you a question about that answer you've just given? Has that come in part from your paranormal experiences, or is that just something that you've picked up along the way across life?
Something I just picked up across life.
Okay, cool. See, I just wonder where the overlap is between the paranormal experiences and what we call spirituality,
Right.
how it intertwines. I know Whitley, as an example, thinks there's a massive overlap based on what his wife had said. I just wondered if you thought the same thing, and or if there's any messages about the grander scheme of things that aliens can give us.
I don't know.
Yeah, they seem not to.
I've been given that information.
No, that's fair enough. I'd like to know these answers before I die.
Yeah, I would too, but I don't think it'll happen.
I agree with you, I hate it because I want to know. This is why I have these conversations with people like yourself, because I want to know what's going on. And I'm frustrated that I don't know what's going on.
I don't know that I believe in your traditional psychic, but I had one psychic tell me one of these days they're going to appear and show themselves, and you will have to get up and introduce your children to the world. Well, I hope that's true, but I don't know when that would happen.
When was that given to you, that message?
When I was in California in the 90s.
Yeah, a long time ago then. It still hasn't come to fruition. That's the thing, isn't
No.
it? Yeah. It's how much
I mean, I
stock
would
we
like
put
for
in
that
it.
to happen, but I don't know when or how that would happen.
Completely agree with you. You never know. Right, we have two more questions before we wrap up. So the first of which is, what else do you like to do in your downtime, Jesse? Any activities or guilty pleasures?
Well, I collect antiques, furniture, grandfather clocks specifically. I mean, I have I had 96 clocks at one point, but I'm getting rid of some of them right now.
Did you have to get rid of them because as soon as it hits the hour, your whole house shakes with all the noise?
Oh, I don't wind them up at all because I couldn't stand that. I need the room, so I'm getting rid of them.
Oh, that's fair enough. So you like antiques. Anything else?
Visiting friends. I mean, I have a friend that I've known for 50 years, another one for 30. I just lost a friend of 30 years. About to lose my sister today, probably.
Sorry to hear that.
Family. That's going to change our family dynamics terribly. Because after mom and dad died, we all met at her house for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And now with her getting ready to leave, I don't know what we're going to do.
I understand that one. I know this is easy for me to say, and you know it as well as I do, that life goes on and we adapt to whatever circumstances happen around us.
Yeah.
So, there's peaks and troughs in our life, and unfortunately, you can't have the peaks without some of the troughs, can you?
Right.
Which
how can you be happy if you don't know what sadness
I
was?
know, and I know that doesn't help you in your current scenario, but it is what it is, unfortunately, isn't it? And that sounds very blasé of me, but you understand my position on that one. Which leads me to our last question. Do you have any projects that you're working on, Jesse? Are you working towards a goal of anything?
Getting rid of a lot of the clocks and furniture in the house.
Making some money, yeah.
Yeah, because I got to fix my truck.
Why, did you crash it? Or is it just broken down?
It's just broken down. Yeah. Being on Social Security, I don't have the money to fix it right now.
Oh, that's fair enough. Fair enough. And you need your truck because you don't fly. You have to drive all around the world. I was going to say to you earlier when you said I drive from LA to Boston, that can't be a short journey. That's going to be days, isn't it?
Yeah, I may well from LA to Maine was 4 days,
Crikey.
but I would drive from LA to Knoxville every Christmas, and that's a 40-hour drive one way. I would drive 20 hours, sleep for 4, and drive 20 hours.
Oh God, I don't
Yeah,
know how you do that.
I couldn't do it now. I was in my 30s then.
I don't even like driving 2 or 3 hours to go on to the holiday to the south coast. That's too much for me. So let alone these 8, 10 hour, 40-hour journeys people do in America. I don't
Oh,
know how you do it.
I love driving. I mean, I couldn't do those trips now, but I love driving. And I say I don't fly, but I obviously flew to England.
Oh yeah, yeah, you had to.
Well, I've flown to Japan, flew to Puerto Rico. I mean, I have, but I have an inner ear issue,
All
and I
right.
would get extremely sick, extremely sick.
Yeah, my girlfriend has something similar. She gets travel sick and doesn't. So it worries me to sit along inside her in case she's like "Ugh," everywhere. I don't like all that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not fun. Not fun. Jesse, thank you ever so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. You've given me a lot to think about, and I think that's a gift. So thank you ever so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you. You've asked me questions I hadn't been asked before.
Well, I like to hear that, and I hope it's yeah, tweaked your curiosity, tweak your brain about your own events. So I like that. So thank you. Thank you ever so much for coming on. For anyone watching, thank you ever so much. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. To watch other KoitCast episodes, please click the image top left. To subscribe to my channel, please click the image top right. Please like and share to help KoitCast grow, and most importantly of all, please click the notification bell so you never miss an upload.